This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me!
It's, time!
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Episode 208, submission 975. Kolchak, the Night Stalker. Kolchak, the Night Stalker aired on ABC from September 13th, 1974 to March 28th, 1975, for a total of 20 episodes. Well, guys, we talk about cult classics, and well, when you think of cult classics on television, this has got to be like one of the first shows that's mentioned.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a show that didn't last but one season, but it is brilliant enough to be sort of the genesis of further science fiction, further supernatural fiction, further explanatory fiction.
Yeah, sort of like that. Okay, a little backstory here. The main character in this series originated in an unpublished novel called The Kolchak Papers, written by Jeff Rice. In it, a Las Vegas newspaper reporter named Karl Kolchek tracks down and beats a serial killer who turns out to be a vampire. So this novel was adapted as ABC approached Rice with an offer to option the Kolchak Papers, and was adapted by Richard Matheson into a television movie called The Night Stalker. The Night Stalker was produced by Dan Curtis and was directed by John Llewellyn Moxey, with the title role of Karl Kolchek being played by the legendary Darren McGavin.
Ah, fragile. It must be Italian.
Well, I think that says fragile, honey.
Oh, yeah.
The cast also included Carol Lindley, Simon Oakland, Ralph Meeker, Claude Akins, Charles McGraw, Kent Smith, Stanley Adams, Alicia Cook Jr., Larry Linville, Jordan Rhodes, and Barry Atwater as the vampire. The Night Stalker first aired on January 11th, 1972 on ABC and garnered the highest ratings for any TV movie at that time, with a 33.2 rating and a 54 share. Now, that was an impressive rating, and it inspired ABC to make another television movie, which Richard Matheson again wrote, called The Knight Strangler, which featured a serial killer in Seattle who strangled his victims and used their blood to keep himself alive for over a century. Kolchak recruits an exotic dancer and psychology student named Louise Harper, played by, are you ready for this, guys?
Okay.
Joanne Plug.
I'd see that. I'd totally see that.
To assist him in tracking down the Strangler. Now, Simon Oakland reprised his earlier role from the other TV movie as Kolchak's editor, Tony Vincenzo, and the cast also included Richard Anderson, Scott Brady, Wally Cox, Margaret Hamilton, John Carradine, Nina Wayne, and Grandpa Al Lewis.
Who we discussed in the 1-900 episode.
Oh yeah, the 1-900 Numbers episode last year. But again, this did very well. And in 1973, late in the year, Matheson and William F. Nolan completed a script for an intended third TV movie called The Night Killers, which was a story about android replicas. But ABC decided that it wanted to do a weekly series instead.
So they were going to do Future World before Future World came out?
Yeah, basically. Where were Betty White and Alan Ludden when he needed them?
Oh.
Because they were in Future World. After some negotiation, McGavin agreed to return as Kolchak and served as the series' executive producer, although he was not credited as such. However, neither ABC nor Universal had obtained Jeff Rice's permission, and he sued the studio. The suit was resolved shortly before the series aired in the fall of 1974, replacing Toma on the network's Friday night schedule. Rice received an on-screen credit as the creator of the series. The first 4 episodes were aired under the title of The Night Stalker, and then after a month-long hiatus, the series was renamed and returned as Kolchak the Night Stalker. So there you go. So in the series, Karl Kolchek is a reporter for the Chicago branch of a fictional small wire service called the Independent News Service, or INS. It's weird, because whenever I watched this series and whenever he said that he was from INS, I'm like, wait, what? Because obviously you think of INS as something else nowadays. Well,
Immigration and Naturalization Service.
Yes. But obviously that's not what it is.
No.
Because it would be a very different series if it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into the characters, shall we? I already mentioned Karl Kolchek, who's played by Darren McGavin. Kolchek is a talented but outspoken investigative reporter with an affinity for bizarre and supernatural occurrences, obtaining information driving around Chicago in his yellow Ford Mustang convertible and snatching exclusives armed with his compact Rolei 16 camera and portable cassette recorder. Using limited information, Kolchek cracks several cases relying on his gut instinct and often prevailing through dumb luck. More often than not, his prospects are hampered by the destruction of evidence to prove his claims, advancing the sheer implausibility of his stories where his peers, particularly his editor, are concerned. On other occasions, his investigations have led to demotion or relocation of varying authority figures, though for reasons these actions are never fully disclosed. And then, of course, Kolchek's editor, as I mentioned, Tony Vincenzo, played by Simon Oakland. And Chico, do you have IMDb up? Do you want to check what's Simon Oakland's IMDb page?
His most notable role was actually in Psycho.
Oh! That makes sense.
Yeah, he was in Psycho, West Side Story, Bullet, The Hunting Party, and Chano's Land.
Ooh, Chano's Land.
Yeah, but he also appeared in multiple episodes of The Rockford Files, 3 times as Vern St. Cloud. Sadly, no longer with us.
Well, Tony's Kolchek's editor. He's one of the only people willing to tolerate his antics, despite their arguments. Vincenzo has a grudging respect for Kolchek's reporting skills, but often finds himself caught between Kolchek's zeal and his own management responsibilities, as his hot temper often affects his blood pressure and digestion, and he sometimes laments that he did not go into his family's Venetian blinds business. Well, I don't blame him. Venetian blinds would end up being a much better option than being a newspaper editor.
Well, true.
And then we got Ron Updike, played by Jack Grinnage.
He was Moose in Rebel Without a Cause, and all the youngins would know him if they saw that episode of The Kids Are All Right as a very old husband. But he was also on 2 episodes of Scrubs as Marvell.
Not that Marvell.
No.
He's Kolchek's rival at INS, whom Kolchek repeatedly refers to as Uptight. A native of San Francisco, he is the opposite of Kolchek and is smartly dressed and hobnobbing with Chicago's elite.
And then we have Emily Cowles, played by Ruth McDevitt, who was that lady in That Thing. She was in, among other things, Decoy, the U.S. Steel Hour, Westinghouse Studio One, the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, the Andy Griffith Show, the Debbie Reynolds Show, The Ghost of Mrs. Moore, Bayberry RFD, I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, The Courtship of Eddie's Father, Love American Style, That Girl, Nanny and the Professor, Room 222, Mannix, Here's Lucy, Gunsmoke, Marcus Welby, MD, Phyllis, Little House on the Prairie, The Streets of San Francisco, Naked City, and All of the Family.
Wow. That is an impressive career.
That is an incredible career.
And then we have Monique Marmalstein, played by Carol Ann Suzy, who is a graduate of the Columbia School of Journalism and is an intern at INS.
Yes, she is, I kid you not, the voice of Wolowitz's mother.
What?
The voice of Wolowitz's mother in The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was Howard's mom. And sadly, she passed away not that long ago. I think within like the last 5 years or so.
Oh.
Yeah, she had cancer. She passed away at like 62.
Oh, well. Well, at least she's known for Big Bang Theory. That's something.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, the character of Mrs. Wolowitz died with the actress.
Yeah.
And actually, clarification, she died almost 7 years ago. Doesn't seem like it was 7 years ago.
Okay, but we do have 2 recurring characters on this show. Of course, there's several recurring characters, but these are 2 listed on Truth by Consensus Wikipedia. We have Gordy the Ghoul Spangler, not related to Eon Spangler, a city morgue attendant and sometimes source of information for Kolchak. He runs a lottery pool based on death statistics and other factors. He is played by John Fiedler, who is best known, guys, as the voice of Piglet and Winnie the Pooh.
Nice.
Yes. And I think we've talked about at least him in 2 other entries because he was in a previous entry, Flying High, but he was also in an episode of Love, Sydney. And actually, Mike, he's a series regular on future entry, Buffalo Bill.
And he was also on an episode of The Ropers.
You're right, that's 3. So this is the 4th entry that he's been on.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. But guys, playing Captain Mad Dog Siska, a Chicago police officer whose efforts to rein in his volatile temper were constantly thwarted by Kolchak's abrasiveness. Guys, I hope you're sitting down. Mike, are you sitting down?
I'm seated, yes.
He is played by Keenan Wynn.
What?
Yes!
The guy who ran the super train played
The guy. Yeah, that's right. Alonzo P. Hawk himself. And you know what's even more amazing? Both Keenan Wynn and John Fiedler were both in the Shaggy DA. John Fiedler played the attendant at the dog pound who's trying to catch Wilby Daniels when he turns into the dog.
That's just beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Daniels, I'm going to give you one more chance. Withdraw from the race, or else.
I'm in this race to the end.
Well, that's right now. Shoot him down! Well, come on, hurry up!
I think you have to release this first.
You numbskull! Can't you do anything right?
Oh, very sorry, sir. Quite accidental. Really, it was.
Fantastic. Keenan Wynn. What else can we say about him? He invented a train that could go to New York to Los Angeles in 36 hours.
And runs on Time Lord technology.
I know! He must have really gotten some consultants from Gallifrey to help him on the super train.
Yep.
And I don't even think we've mentioned this yet. Keenan Wynn was on an episode of Manimal.
What?
Oh! Guys, next year, as you know, we are going to revisit Manimal. So that's going to be just fantastic when we revisit it. Oh, Man, Keenan went on Manimal. Oh, that's just fantastic. Okay. The series managed in a short run to tackle most monster myths, including vampires, werewolves, mummies, and zombies.
What about chupacabras?
I wish. It had creatures like a killer android, an invisible extraterrestrial, a prehistoric man who was thawed back to life, and a lizard creature protecting its eggs. It had a story about Jack the Ripper. It had an episode about Helen of Troy. It had an episode about a headless motorcycle rider.
You didn't mention who played Helen of Troy.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to get to it later, but let's just say it right now. Guys, this guest star is incredible. You might even say, when you say the name, that's incredible. Kathy Lee Crosby.
Why did I see that coming?
Kathy Lee Crosby, she is a wonder.
Woman. Because she was Wonder Woman in the original pilot.
Yeah. Seriously, if you don't know who Kathy Lee Crosby is, what podcast are you even listening to?
Yeah. Okay, the music for this series. Okay. Originally for the TV movies, you know who scored the music for the TV movies?
No, but I bet you're going to tell me.
Bob Cobert.
Oh my.
That's the second Super Train connection on this episode.
Oh yeah. Gil Millay wrote the music for the TV series, beginning with a theme that begins with Kolchak whistling in the opening credits. He was hired to write the theme, and he wrote it in just 20 minutes. Millay left the series after the 4th episode, and composer Jerry Fiedling took over the scoring for the remainder of the run. And actually, 2 soundtrack albums have been produced. One released in 2000, featuring 2 suites of Colbert's music from the TV movies. The other a bootleg copy of Millay's private tapes, featuring his theme and scores written for the first 3 episodes, and 2 cues from the TV movie The Quisitor tapes. And the theme by Millay actually appears on the Television's Greatest Hits Volume 5 CD.
Okay.
Yeah. So, guys, I think it's time that we finally get into the episode, shall we?
Let's dive headlong into this.
Yeah. And by the way, we're going to go over the guest stars in this episode. I'm not joking without hyperbole. This may be like one of our most star-studded episodes ever. I'm not even kidding. Just the amount of guest stars in this episode is just insane. Like, you haven't even seen what... You're going to be just amazed by this. Okay. Oh, hold on. Before I get into the episodes. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention. Do you know who was a story editor for this series?
Who?
David Chase. That's right. That David Chase from The Sopranos was the story editor for Kolchak the Night Stalker. And the director of The Many Saints of Newark. Now out in theaters and on HBO Max. Subtle plug there. But yeah, this was like one of the first things he ever did. Was the story editor for Kolchak the Night Stalker. Amazing. Okay, let's get into the episodes.
Alright.
Episode 1, The Ripper. Kolchak argues that a serial killer is actually Jack the Ripper. Yeah, so Kolchak is going on chasing Jack the Ripper. Just fantastic stuff.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Jack the Ripper is not played by David Warner like in Time After Time, which is a shame. But whatever. Okay, we got guest stars in this episode. Beatrice Colin, who is an American television film actress, best known for playing Marcia Sims on Happy Days and Etta Candy on Wonder Woman. We got Ken Lynch, who was best known for playing the starring role in The Lieutenant on the Dumont Detective series. The Plainclothesman from 1949 to 1955. Actually, 1954. But what a stupid title. The Plainclothesman?
You've never heard of plainclothes policeman?
No.
Yeah.
That's a thing?
That is a thing.
I guess
they call it deep cover now.
Oh, okay. That's what they called it in the 40s?
Plainclothesmen, see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have any other guest stars, Chico?
I'm looking at the IMDb page, and I don't see anything from of any note, but I do see that Mickey Gilbert played the Ripper, and Mickey Gilbert is actually a stuntman. He's more of a stuntman than an actor.
Okay. That's cool. All right. The second episode, The Zombie. Oh, if only this was the ECW zombie in this episode.
That's riveting right there. What the hell is this guy about? This is laughable.
That happened. And by the way, the teleplay for this episode was done by David Chase, so... Okay, the description of this episode. A woman whose grandson was murdered by mobsters uses voodoo to turn him into a zombie and take revenge. It was originally listed in TV Guide as the show's debut episode. And this is the debut of John Fiedler as Gordy the Ghoul Spangler in this episode.
All right. And, the guest stars on this are known. They are known.
Oh, yeah.
You got Joseph Sorolla as Benjamin Sposato. If I'm not mistaken, Joseph Sorolla was known for
voiceovers,
but also played roles on Hawaii Five-0, Quincy M.E., Diagnosis Murder, The Magician. Sadly, also no longer with us. But he also played Judge Locke on Previous Century, Ohana.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, this guy's a known quantity. But not as known as these two guys. Scatman Crothers.
Scatman Crothers, baby.
OMG. And certainly not as known as Antonio Vargas.
Huggy Bear.
So you got Scatman Crothers and Antonio Vargas in the same episode.
Oh, that's double awesome right there. Oh.
Yep. And added to Charles Aidman, Val Basolio, and J. Pat O'Malley.
That is a star-studded episode.
That is an amazingly star-studded episode. Get me some of that, why don't you?
And also, we should add that Carol Ann Susie makes her first appearance in the series.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay. Episode 3. They have been. They are. They will be. ... Also known as UFO, an invisible alien sucks out the bone marrow of its victims while it makes repairs on its ship and looks for directions home. Oh, so this is an evil ET who's invisible, sucking out bone marrow of its victims. Hey, guys. I guess you could say that this is an alien John Cena.
Jeez.
But this episode actually has an amazing secondary plot. Because the secondary plot in this episode involves Kolchak trying to work on this case, but he also has tickets to Game 1 of the World Series. But this is a fictional World Series. Okay, because it's 1974. And can you believe this World Series in 1974 in this universe is played by the Cubs and the Red Sox?
Yeah, that's an alternate universe.
That is definitely an alternate universe.
It's definitely an alternate universe. So Carl's doing this case while he's listening to the radio, and hearing all the play-by-play from Game 1, and uncredited playing the announcer in this episode, Dick Enberg.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Because when you need a sportscaster for your episode in 1974, you get Dick Enberg.
That soft baritone of his. Oh my god, yes.
Hey, do we have any guest stars other than Dick Enberg in this episode?
Oh, do we ever? Playing Alfred Brindle in this episode? The one and only Dick Van Patten.
Yes, Dick Van Patten. Oh, this is, I think, the fourth entry we've discussed Dick Van Patten. Because he was, of course, in When Things Were Rotten. He was in, trying to remember. He was in the Weird Al show. We just did that. Oh, he was in the first episode, Mike, of the Paul Lynde show, where he played the proprietor of the X-rated theater. Chico, you remember that episode?
I do remember that episode.
With Dick Van Patten. Hey, Chico. No wonder they get $7.50. No wonder they get $7.50. Well, at least Paul wasn't sleeping on a craps table in that episode.
Oh, God. We're back on the Hollywood Squares, then.
Do we want to explain this joke?
Yeah, explain the joke, because otherwise people are just going to be like...
Yeah, last week, Fuzzy Memories uploaded a 1981 episode of Hollywood Squares from the Vegas season. And in the introductions for the celebrities, of course, lastly, they get to Paul Lynde. And there's a still shot of him just sleeping on a craps table. And no one's like, oh, wake up, Paul. Please wake up. No.
Nope.
They're not even trying.
Nope.
One other thing about Dick Van Patten is that he was in The Shaggy DA. So that's our third connection this episode to someone who was in the movie The Shaggy DA.
And we do have other known people on this episode. Playing Dr. Bess Weinstock is Mary Wicks. Sister Mary Lazarus in Sister Act.
Yep.
But also, she was on many, many episodes of Match Game back in the 70s.
I would have said all the episodes, but not all of the episodes, but enough of the episodes.
A healthy number, yes.
Yes, a healthy number of episodes.
And one other name that caught my eye, in this episode, he plays Howard Gauch, G-O-U-G-H, I think that's how you pronounce that, is Phil Leeds. His name may not be familiar, but if you look at him, he is definitely a known entity. He's a character actor who had been in the business for a long while, up until basically his passing in 1998. Among the things that he was on, looks like 5 episodes of Night Court, and also, Greg, 2 episodes of Wings.
What? Okay. All right, guys.
Okay.
All right. Now, have I ever said this on this podcast before? Okay. Guys, I hope...
I'm listening.
All right.
I'm listening. You have my attention.
I'm ashamed of this, but I'm going to come out and say it right now. Okay, guys? I love Wings.
Oh, of course.
Guys, did you know it made Tony Shalhoub's career?
I had an idea.
He just had a birthday in the last week or so.
Yeah.
He did. What was he, 70-something?
No.
68.
68? Sorry.
Hey, guys, you know what that means.
No.
Next year, he's going to have the nicest birthday. Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
He's going to be 69 next year.
Nice.
Do we have any other guest stars in episode 3?
Not on this episode, no.
Okay, let me go ahead. Episode 4. Oh, The Vampire. Hey, guys, it's a sequel to the Night Stalker TV movie.
Oh.
Yes. An overlooked victim of Janos, a Las Vegas vampire, makes her way to Los Angeles and begins killing anew. Okay, the guest stars in this episode. Okay, the first guest star Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, playing the role of Police Lieutenant Jack Mateo, William Daniels.
Dr. Mark Craig from St. Elsewhere?
Yes.
Mr. George Feeney?
Oh, Mr. Feeney,
Kit?
yes. Kit. Of course, you can't forget about Kit. I mean, come on.
Those are his big three roles, if you think about it.
Oh, definitely. But also, we'll be talking about this guy actually next month, as a matter of fact, playing the character of Swede, Larry Storch.
Yes, Larry Storch from F Troop.
Yes. And we'll be talking about him next month when Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out, because he was in the Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Oh, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that. It's been a lot. You know what? We've been waiting forever to do that episode. I can't wait till we finally do that episode. Hard to believe it's going to be. I can't even believe Ghostbusters Afterlife is coming out next month finally.
That's crazy.
I know. I felt like I was never going to see the movie because it's been teased.
I felt like that with No Time to Die, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And Black Widow.
And Black Widow.
Movies in general.
Movies in general. But you know what, Chico? We're going to be getting the money shot on December 17th.
I hope so.
You all know what we're talking about, so I won't say no more. Okay. But also playing the character of Faye Krueger, Kathleen Nolan. And Kathleen Nolan would be a perennial, I guess you could say she was that woman from that thing, I guess?
Yeah, she was that woman from that thing.
Yeah, because she's on, like, things as Magnum P.I., Quincy, The Incredible Hulk TV series, Chicago Hope, Ally McBeal. Yeah. Bewitched. The Alfred Hitchcock Hour.
She spent 5 years as Kate McCoy at the Real McCoys.
Okay. So she'd be best known for that.
Wait, there's more than just Kathleen Nolan. I have legitimately 3 other names to add.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Playing Ichabod Grace.
Oh, Jan Murray.
Oh yeah.
Jan Murray.
Oh, yeah.
Borscht Belt comedian.
Damn straight.
Oh, yeah. One of the legends of early TV.
Oh,
the original Treasure Hunt.
Yeah, Treasure.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the original host of Treasure Hunt.
Yeah, but before Jeff Edwards and Chuck Barris made it all goofy, wacky, and stuff. But also another name, and in this episode, he portrayed Gingrich, Milt Kamen.
Oh.
And he's an actor from the 70s, 60s, 50s. He passed away in 1977, but he was in many things. And taking a look at some of his credits, he was somewhat on the game show circuit back in the 70s and 60s. Tattletales, $10,000 Pyramid, Personality, What's My Line, The Match Game, To Tell the Truth, Password. So he did a little bit of everything.
So he did the rounds then.
He did the rounds. And then the other name that I recognize, credited as Man. So he doesn't even really have a name. He's just credited as Man. Army Archard. Don't tell me that name doesn't ring a bell.
I've heard the name.
He was basically like the male equivalent of Rona Barrett.
Oh.
Yeah, he was on the gossip show all the time on E! Back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, sadly no longer with us, but he had a lengthy career back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Again, as Chico said, up to not necessarily current day, but into the 2000s, because he did pass in 2009.
Okay. All right. Episode 5. The Werewolf. Now, this story was co-written by David Chase with Paul Pladen, In snowy Chicago, the INS crew hold a send-off for Tony Vincenzo, headed on a singles cruise, but he gets audited instead. Karl wields his way into taking his place and ends up battling a werewolf in a killing spree. Okay, we got some good guest stars in this episode, okay?
Buckle up.
Playing Bernhard Stieglitz. This is
Close enough.
This is yeah, it's a German name. Like, I'm gonna pronounce that correctly. Okay, but playing that role, legendary actor in television, Eric Braeden from The Young and the Restless.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That jerk.
That guy. But also
Victor Newman, that son of a...
That Victor Newman. You know, that Victor Newman. I always hate him worse than that bastard Charles Logan.
No,
Yeah.
he's not in this episode.
No, he's not in this episode.
Thankfully, that bastard Charles Logan is not in that this episode. But okay. Playing the role of Mel Torter, Dick Gautier.
Jaime?
Yeah!
Jaime!
Second reference to When Things Were Rotten.
He was Robin Hood on When Things Were Rotten.
Refer back to episode 69.
Nice.
Second reference to 69 this episode.
Double nice.
I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me.
But playing Captain Julian Wells, we got Henry Jones, who was best known for appearing in a lot of things. He was on Falcon Crest for a season. He was on a episode of The Dukes of Hazzard. He was on 2 episodes of Future Entry, BJ and the Bear. Oh, he was on 3 episodes of Future Entry, Flow. And he was in such movies as Dick Tracy, Arachnophobia, The Grifters. Legendary actor.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, you want to talk about a legend? Playing the role of Hallam, Bob Hastings.
Yeah, Bob Hastings.
Yeah, you're talking about legendary voice actor. He played Commissioner Gordon in Batman the Animated Series. He was... Who else was he? He was Tommy Kelsey on All in the Family.
He also hosted the first season of Dealer's Choice.
Dealer's Choice.
That's right. That's right.
Dealer. Never thought we'd have a Dealer's Choice reference in this episode, but we did.
I love Dealer's Choice.
I love Dealer's Choice too. 3-1 on the mint, baby. 3-1 on the mint. Look it up, kids.
Okay, and also we got Nita Tolbit appearing in this episode. She was on Hogan's Heroes, I believe.
Yeah.
We've talked about her in the past.
We have.
How about this? Another reference. This is like the second or third reference to this show. She was Rose Casey on Super Train.
Oh, yes. Oh, hey, hold on a second, guys. I had this in an entry recently. She was Nurse in the TV movie Jake Spanner Private Eye starring Robert Mitchum. And guys, do you know who's in that movie? Playing senior club member.
Who's that?
You want? All right. Edie Adams.
We're laughing because we know what Gilbert Gottfried had to say about Miss Edie Adams.
She was the 9th most effable woman in the world.
That was really said. It was really said.
And it's true. She was. She was the 9th most effable woman in the world.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
She was also Anastasia Hardy on the Partners in Danger story web. See what I did there? Of Spider-Man the Animated Series.
Yeah, in 1997. Episode 6, Firefall. The ghost of an arsonist tries to take over a renowned conductor's body as his doppelganger, and kills a number of the conductor's associates by Spontaneous human combustion. Ooh.
Boom.
Now, this episode was combined with the episode The Energy Eater and with new narration by Darren McGavin to compose a television film called Crackle of Death, which was the fourth television movie in the Night Stalker series, effectively removing it from the syndication package for the show. And actually, according to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia, one of the locations used, St. Joseph's Catholic Church in L.A., burned down in 1983. Unfortunate.
Oh.
But the guest stars in this episode, guys.
Oh boy. I'm looking at one right now. Playing the Cardinale. Bosley. David Doyle.
Tommy's grandpa?
Tommy's grandpa.
Oh. David Doyle.
So, the doppelganger is at work here. This is a doppelganger story, basically.
Yeah. Doppelganger.
Playing the role of Sergeant Mayer. Philip Carey.
Ooh.
Asa Buchanan from One Life to Live.
Ooh, One Life to Live.
Yep. And Edward Parmalee from Laredo.
Ooh.
And multiple roles on 77 Sunset Strip.
Oh, nice.
And Philip Marlowe in Philip Marlowe.
Philip Marlowe and Philip Marlowe. Okay.
He's done it all. He's done it all.
He's done it all. Episode 7, The Devil's Platform. A politician on a meteoric rise murders his opposition through a pact with Satan, which gives him the ability to turn into an invulnerable dog. What?
Are you serious? A promising young politician has made a deal with the devil to gain the ability to kill those running against him in ways to look like accidents.
Okay.
Including to change form into that of an ominous dog.
That's some Twin Peaks type stuff. Okay. But playing the politician in this episode, Tom Skerritt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tom Skerritt. Oh, what else can we say about this man? I mean, come on. What else can be said about Tom Skerritt?
Yep.
I mean, MASH, Alien, The Dead Zone, Top Gun. A river
Picket
runs
fences.
through it. Picket fences. Oh, I know how much you love picket fences, Chico.
That is my Friday night drama wings.
Oh, yeah, especially on CBS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Made John Cullum's career. Aside from playing Leaf Day Willem in that 30 Rock episode.
Well, I guess we all learned something tonight about love and friendship, about taking chances, about the true meaning of leap day. But these lessons aren't good just for every 4 years. No, they're good every year because we should live every day as if it's leap day and every leap day as if it's your last. Oh, and if you should ever see an old man in a blue suit busting out of the middle of the ocean, take the time to say howdy. It might just be worth your while.
Episode 8, Bad Medicine. Your love is like bad medicine. Bad medicine is what I say. The first episode based on a Native American legend. A shaven spirit called Diablo murders for jewels to pay back his debt and be released from his earthly bounds. But playing the shaven spirit, oh, guys, Richard Keel.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jaws.
Jaws from The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. But also, he was in Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
Yes, he was.
That's two-shooter. He was in the MST3K classic, Ega.
Watch out for snakes.
Who said that?
Oh, Ega. Oh, my gosh. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Oh, what a classic movie that was on MST3K back in the day.
Ega. Oh, my gosh.
And also remember, guys, watch out for snakes.
Yep.
Any other guest stars in this episode?
Did you mention whoever played Dr. Agnes Temple?
No. Who would play
Alice Ghostly.
Alice Ghostly.
Yep. Passions, Hercules, Channel MT3, Evening Shade, Bernice on Designing Women, y'all. Bernice on Designing Women,
Bernice,
y'all.
yeah, Bernice.
Ida Mae Brindle on Small Wonder, y'all.
Yeah. Esmeralda on Bewitched. Mrs. Dobbs on Good Times. She has done it all.
Oh, yeah.
One other person I think we need to mention on this episode playing Delgado is Marvin Kaplan.
Oh, Marvin Kaplan.
And we have talked about Marvin Kaplan in the past. In the Saturday Supercade episode, he played Shelly Turtle.
From the Frogger. From Frogger show.
Yes.
Oh.
Not that Frogger show, Peacock subscribers. The good one.
The good one.
The real one, yeah. But also, where I know him from, and really everybody should know Marvin Kaplan from, he voiced Choo Choo on Top Cat.
Oh, we don't know how much you love Top Cat, Mike.
Top Cat is my animated wings from the 60s. Top Cat is such a great show. And Choo Choo makes it.
I like Top Cat, but I was more of a Benny the Bean guy.
Was Choo Choo the Tony Shalhoub of Top Cat, Mike?
No, that was Benny the Bean. Come on.
No, I will fight you right here and right now. Choo Choo was the Tony Shalhoub of Top Cat. Don't make me take off my gloves.
Okay.
I am
slap you across the room.
Slap me like Zachary Quinto.
I was talking to Chico, but if you want to slap two, I can give you one.
Oh, God.
Episode 9, The Spanish Moss Murders. Now, this teleplay was done by David Chase.
A pair of seemingly unrelated deaths are connected by the fact that each victim had a small amount of Spanish moss on the body. When more murders occur, Kolchak is able to determine that each victim is indeed connected to a comatose Cajun man who is part of a sleep experiment where he is denied the ability to dream. The man's subconscious is able to physically manifest a vengeful monstrosity, the Parmafe, a legendary Cajun boogeyman who dispatches anyone who wrongs the sleeping man. Kolchak's intention to stop the Parmafe marks him for death unless he can stop the creature before it kills him. You know who played the Parmafe? The same guy who played Diablera in the last episode.
Oh, Richard Keel's back.
Hey, you need a tall, monstrous guy with a protruding jawline. I'm calling Richard Keel.
Yeah, he'd be in my Rolodex for that position.
But guys, Keenan Wynn is in this episode.
He is.
Yeah. All right. Episode 10, The Energy Eater. Now, this episode was combined with Firefall, with the new narration by Darren McGavin to compose Crackle of Death, as I already mentioned. A hospital is built on reclaimed land inhabited by the Native American bear spirit legend, Machi Manatu, which threatens to destroy anyone who inhabits it. Do we have guest stars?
Michael Strong plays Walter Green, and he would actually be known as Resistance Leader / the Old Man in future entry Galactica 1980.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk about Galactica 1980 at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
And in this episode, playing a janitor is one John Mitchum. The best I've got is he's the younger brother of Robert Mitchum.
Oh.
That's really all I've got on him. He is the younger brother of Robert Mitchum. Did some stuff, but not as well known as his brother.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it, really. I mean, everybody else is that person from that thing.
Okay. All right. Episode 11, Horror in the Heights. A Hindu demon who can assume the form of someone its victim trusts terrorizes a Jewish neighborhood. No, that's not
Oh,
good.
wow.
Yeah.
This is the neighborhood in question, by the way, Roosevelt Heights.
Yes.
And the Hindu demon is known as the Rakshasa, which actually was borrowed, if I'm not mistaken, for Super Sentai 25th anniversary film, Hyakuju Sentai Go Ranger versus Super Sentai, which I have on DVD.
But okay, guest star in this episode. Oh, what can we say about this man? Phil Silvers.
Oh God, you don't even have to say anything about that.
Oh, you're not kidding.
No. And then you have, and not to take away from Bill Silvers, but then you have Barry Gordon, who is just one of the most legendary voice actors in the game. He was Donatello in the 80s era Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes. And guys, since we're recording this on October 15th, it's coming up real soon, guys. We're going to pour one out. Buzzer's nearing the last week of Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour, which Barry Gordon was on.
Yep.
Yeah.
During his run, after his run on Archie Bunker's Place as Gary Rabinowitz. And also his run as Inky on Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Oh, and you know what he was also in?
What's that?
He was in the 1987 Dirk Benedict, Roddy Piper cinematic classic, Body Slam, with Captain Lou Albano.
Yep.
You know what? I'm thinking we might do a live show of that movie around WrestleMania.
Yeah, you might do a live show of that movie.
Oh, because you know who else is in that movie?
Who else is in that movie?
Billy Barty.
Oh, nice.
Billy Barty. And Mike, who else is in that movie? CNR.
Oh my, yes.
Charles Nelson Riley's Body Slam. So yeah, this is it's a star-studded movie. Yeah, you know, It Was a Thing on TV is going to cover that. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
All right.
All right, one more person I see. In this episode, he played Mr. Lane Marriott. And the name is Murray Matheson.
Okay.
He's a character actor from back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Has not been with us for like 35 years. The one credit I saw that just caught my eye was he was on an episode of Tattletales, and you won't believe who his partner was. Doesn't say spouse necessarily, because I don't see anything listing him as a spouse, but in terms of the person he was on the show with.
Okay.
Phyllis Diller.
Wow. That's something. Oh, and he was also Mr. Agee in the Kick the Can segment in the Twilight Zone movie from 1983.
Yep.
Directed by Steven Spielberg. The second reference in this episode to the Kick the Can segment, considering Scatman Crothers has earlier been referenced in this episode.
And, not to be outdone, but not that I'm outdoing anything, played Felix Mulholland in Banachek with George Papard. Because George Papard.
Episode 12, Mr. Ring. An escaped android murders anyone that threatens its survival.
Yep.
That's all I got in the description.
Well, the person who played Mr. Ring is a guy by the name of Craig Baxley, who is a stunt coordinator and a director. He directed Dolph Lundgren in Dark Angel.
Not that Dark Angel with Jessica Alba.
No. He also directed Brian Bosworth in Stone Cold.
Oh, Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. Yes.
Yeah, I guess he sort of reads as the director of bad action movies. I'm surprised he didn't direct an episode of Photon. Oh, hold on. Ring the bell. I'm going for it.
What?
I'm going for it, Greg.
Wait, is the referee's here?
Referee's here. I'm going for it.
Let's get it. Everybody, Chico's catch.
Look at this! Look at this! You know, this looks really familiar to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chico Alexander is cashing in his money in the bank.
Okay, next January, we are talking about Photon, the ultimate game on planet Earth.
What is this? What?
It's like laser tag with green screens.
Oh, okay.
It's terrible.
Okay, playing the role of Mrs. Walker in this episode is Julie Adams, a woman who had many credits to her name, actually passed away, unfortunately, 2 years ago. But she was in such work as starred opposite Jimmy Stewart in Bend of the River from 1952, and she was in The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep.
And she had the recurring role of Eve Simpson on Murder, She Wrote.
And then there's a guy by the name of Burt Freed, who is actually the first person to ever play Detective Columbo.
Wow.
And he plays Captain Akins in this episode.
All right. Episode 13, Primal Scream. Defrosted ancient cell samples discovered in the Arctic grow into a savage prehistoric primate, which goes on a rampage. Oh, guys, we got some guest stars in this episode.
Oh God, do we ever.
Okay.
Playing the role of Thomas Kitzmiller. Guy by the name of Pat Harrington Jr. Who'd that guy be? One word.
Schneider on One Day at a Time.
Yeah.
That would be the word.
Schneider.
Among many other things.
Dang straight. But playing the role of Jack Burton, guys. JB4.
Oh, JB4.
So, okay, let's review what we've talked about. We brought up JB4. We brought him up in the Cool Kids. After MASH, obviously. And I guess we brought him up in the video game show part 3 with the MASH game.
Mm-hmm.
So this would make 4. No, I think we did. No, actually, it's 5 because I think didn't we sort of talk about him in the Noel Edmonds episode? Because he
we did.
Because he was shooting a pilot around that time.
Yes, we did.
So that's 5. And then we also got John Morley, who is playing the role of Captain Maurice Molnar. He was actually in the movie Love Story. And guys, he is in The Godfather. He is the person in The Godfather who awakens to find the severed horse head.
Oh, God, he's that guy.
He is
that guy.
He is that guy. Yes. But okay, guys, are you ready for an amazing, uncredited guest star in this episode?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
All right, here we go. Playing Man Entering Laboratory. Creed Bratton.
What?
I'm not kidding. He's on IMDb.
I bet. I want to say, hey, you want to go back and Ed Begley's vegetable oil powered TARDIS. Go back to 1975 and tell a young Creed Bratton, hey, in 30 years, you're going to be the most famous office curmudgeon ever.
www.creedthoughts.com. Editor's note. It's actually www.creedthoughts.gov, but really, .gov.com. Does it really matter that much? No.
Freaking believable.
Hey guys, there's still one name that you're missing.
Oh?
Yeah, I think there's a name that's missing playing a secretary in this episode, or more specifically, the secretary, is Barbara Rhodes.
Oh, yeah, I know where you're going with this.
She was on a number of shows back in the 70s and 80s. She had a recurring role in the final season of Soap as Maggie Chandler. and she made the rounds. She was on Password Plus quite a few times. I think she was also on Match Game back in the late 70s, early 80s a few times.
I remember her on Match Game, yes.
Oh, yeah.
She was Jody's fiance in the final season of Soap.
Right, yeah, that's what I said. She had a recurring role in the final season of Soap.
Okay. All right. Episode 14, The Trivia Collection. A witch desires to control the world of high fashion. Really? That's what you want to control if you're a witch? High fashion? Seriously?
It was the 70s, dude. Think about it.
Okay. But playing the role of the witch is Lara Parker from Dark Shadows.
She wasn't worried about being typecast at all, was she?
No, she wasn't. But okay, guys. In this oh my god, this might be the third reference to When Things Were Rotten.
Oh boy.
Playing a doctor in this episode. And I
Here
guess
we go.
It's appropriate. Bernie Capel.
Yep.
Oh, and also going back to the last episode, talking about Barbara Rhodes, just because I want to match the number of references between the shows, talking about When Things Were Rotten. I got to get my third Super Train reference in. She was on an episode of Super Train.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So they're neck and neck. Let's see who can get to 4 first.
Will it be When Things Were Rotten or Super Train? We could play from Bunzai. Push your bets now!
No, that's racist.
Oh, come on, Mike. Get over it.
Okay. Oh, this show has hit rock bottom all of a sudden.
Oh, hold on a second, guys. I got another guest star, okay? Playing the role of lecturer is Marvin Miller. No, not the head of the Major League Baseball Players Union, Marvin Miller. No. This Marvin Miller is actually well known because, guys, he was the voice of Robbie the Robot in Forbidden Planet.
What?
Yes. We got the voice of Robbie the Robot in this episode.
Okay.
Oh, Robbie,
okay, that's nice.
Robbie the Robot. Oh. Okay. Episode 15. Chopper. And guys, the teleplay is done by David Chase and Steve Fisher.
Okay. All right. This is what I was talking about. This was the actual first story credit of Bob Gale and Bob Zemeckis.
The people that gave you Back to the Future.
Yep.
This is where it all began for them. This episode. Okay. A headless motorcycle rider murders those responsible for his death. And okay, the guest stars in this episode. Okay. All right, where do we start? We start with, okay, playing the role of Captain Jonas. Frank Burns himself, Larry Linville. Okay.
Oh, boy.
But, okay, we're not done yet. Playing the role of Herb Bresson. Lovey, Jim Backus. Mr. Howell himself.
Oh, yeah.
And the voice of Mr. Magoo. But, okay, Chico, we talked about this guy back in episode 101 when he played Louis the Lip, playing Henry Stud Speck.
Here we go.
Art Matrano, who played Captain Mauser in Police Academy 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, just passed away within the last month and a half or so.
Yeah, he did. I think he's on an episode of Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast.
I wouldn't be surprised. He finds everybody.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay, and also playing the role of Leila Morton, Sharon Farrell. That would be Lori Wilson from the last 3 seasons of Hawaii Five-0.
Oh.
So there's a name.
Okay.
And she was also on a week of MASH game in 1978. You're welcome, everybody.
Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Did we talk about Electric Larry? I feel like we need to talk about Electric Larry.
What's Electric Larry?
He is Joey Oresco from Super Train.
Oh, there's the fourth Super Train reference!
There it is, Super Train Pete, when things were rotten, everybody.
You're welcome, America!
Okay.
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel this episode.
That's the thing. It's just a little bit.
Okay. Episode 16, Diva and Lace. This episode, combined with the next episode, was made into the television film The Demon and the Mummy, of course with new narration by Darren McGavin, also removing these two episodes from the Kolchak the Night Stalker syndication package. An ancient Mesopotamian city tablet is presided over by a succubus. The succubus possesses the corpse of recently deceased young women to murder young men by giving them heart attacks to maintain her immortality.
Ooh. That sounds dirty.
It does.
But then again, that's what a succubus does.
We all saw that South Park episode.
We did. And I want to say, what was the name of the succubus? You have the name of the succubus?
No, it just says succubus on Truth by Consensus Wikipedia.
Okay.
Well, I can give you some names.
All right, please do.
All right, first playing the registrar, Carolyn Jones.
Oh.
Morticia Addams. That's all you need to know.
Morticia Addams.
But also
Nice.
two other names that caught my eye. Playing Coach Toomey on this episode is Jackie Vernon.
Oh.
Really?
Okay, yeah. Okay, you guys apparently recognize the name. For those that don't know, in the Frosty the Snowman cartoons, he played the voice of Frosty.
Happy birthday!
We all knew that was coming.
Oh, yeah.
But also, one other name. In this episode, he portrayed Professor C. Evans Spate. Andrew Prime, longtime actor going back to the 60s, where I know him best from, and we haven't had a Married with Children reference in a while. He portrayed Psycho Dad on Married with Children.
Oh.
Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad. And also he was on 3 episodes of previous installment Nightstand.
Oh, Nightstand.
Friend of the podcast, Tim Stack.
Okay. All right. Episode 17, Legacy of Terror. An Aztec cult seeks to resurrect the mummy of their god by murdering physically perfect people. And playing one of the victims in this episode, a very young Eric Estrada.
Ooh.
Oh, he had to be real young.
Oh, yeah. This would be another, I guess you'd say 3 years before Chips. Or 3 years before Chips. But, wait a minute. Guys, I forgot. Didn't we put on the list the roller disco episode of Chips?
I think we might have.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I remember that. Yes.
One day we will cover that episode. Because, of course. And it gives us an excuse to talk about Robert Pine.
Absolutely. Oh, did you know he's Chris Pine's dad?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He's Captain Kirk's dad.
Just want to make sure you guys didn't forget.
Oh, no.
And we do have one other name besides Eric Estrada. Playing Mr. Eddie is Sorrel Book.
Oh, yeah.
Boss Hog. Boss Hog.
Boss Hog, everybody.
That's all you need to know. Boss Hog.
Yep.
And he was on a week of Match Game Hollywood Squares.
Of course.
He was also on Beat the Clock in 1979, and I still want closure.
Oh, no.
One day, sometime, it may be another 40 years, but Mike will eventually, I hope one day, will get his closure for Beat the Clock 79.
I want it. That's the week that has John McCook, who we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Episode 18, The Nightly Murders. To prevent the destruction of its home, the spirit of a knight reanimates his suit of armor to kill those responsible. Ooh.
Okay, and I do see one name in this episode.
Okay.
Playing Mendel Boggs is Hans Conried.
Oh, yes. Captain Hook from the 1953 Peter Pan and Snidely Whiplash and Dudley Do-Right.
Nice.
Among other things, the one place that I've seen him recently, just because I've been a bit of an insomniac on the weekends, is he was a regular panelist on the Ernie Kovacs panel show, Take a Good Look.
Oh. Hey, guys. You know who Ernie Kovacs was married to, right?
Oh, no! Jeez, I walked right into it, didn't I? Oh, no.
He was married to the ninth most effable woman in the world, Edie Adams.
I walked right into that.
But okay, playing the character of Bruce Krause is Sidney Clute, who played Detective Paul LaGuardia on Cagney and Lacey.
Ah, awesome.
Yes. Oh, I remember him because he was in that the epic opening sequence of Cagney and Lacey. Of course, I can't forget that face. Cagney and Lacey, one of the best opening sequences of a television show ever.
We were talking about like season
2 onwards.
2 and onwards.
Oh yeah, when Sharon Glass joins the show, yes.
Yes. Nothing against Meg Foster, but
No, nothing against Meg Foster, but come on. It doesn't get good until Sharon Glass comes in.
True.
All right. Episode 19, The Youth Killer. Of course, this is the episode we mentioned earlier with Kathy Lee Crosby. Helen of Troy returns to drain the youth out of unsuspecting perfect victims, sacrifices for the goddess Hecate in her quest for immortality. But okay, guys, playing the role in this episode as a police sergeant. And we talked about him earlier this year. Dwayne Hickman.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dobie Gillis.
Dolby Gillis. Of course, who could forget when him and Eleanor Donahue in High School USA decided to go to that movie theater. And then Tom Ballard came in and said, Hey, I know. Hey, look, everybody, they're here. The teachers are here at the movie theater.
Emmylou, I'm
Excuse
telling
me.
you, quit kissing me like
Excuse me, please. Pardon me, may I get by here?
Oh, no.
Watch it.
Cowgirl like you. Ah.
Sheriff, careful of your badge.
Hey, I know you. Mr. P.
Someone's coming, girl.
Miss D.
Must be my boy.
Hey, everybody, Mr. Plaza's here with Miss D'Angelo.
Hey, Miss D'Angelo, Mr. Plaza.
Because we needed an excuse to bring up America's Ass from 1983. Oh,
Yeah,
and of course it was interspliced with the clips of Otto's robot with the vending machine.
Oh, interesting note about this episode. One of the characters' names is Kaz. And playing in the role of Kaz is a guy who's credited as Demosthenes. His real name is George Savalas.
Oh!
Telly's older brother.
Oh! Yes!
Yeah, and actually at this time he would have been on Kojak. He would have been playing Detective Stavros.
Oh. That's great. Also refer back to episode 177, Telly Who Loves You, Baby.
Who loves you, baby?
One guest star I want to note, playing second young man in this episode is Reb Brown, who you would best know from the classic 80s movie You're the Hunter from the Future, and also played Captain America in future installment, the Captain America TV movies from the 1970s, and he's also in the MST3K classic Space Mutiny.
Let's get out there, kick the ass!
Trunk slam chest.
Fist rock bone. Stump beef knob.
Smash lamp jaw.
All right, the final episode, everybody.
Episode 20, The Sentry. After an underground data storage facility uncovers a problem when they excavate a tunnel for a new wing, Karl investigates the deaths of several employees of the facility who appear to have been killed by a wild animal, and he discovers a rampaging reptile that has been disturbed by the digging of the tunnel. As Kolchak tries to stay one step ahead of the law, the beast continues its assault on the facility, destroying anything and everything in its quest for the eggs that have been stolen from its nest. I am not making this up.
Oh.
And playing once again the creature, I guess they couldn't get Richard Keel because Craig R. Baxley is back.
Oh, okay.
But playing the role of Jack Flaherty, not Bosley, Howard Cunningham, Tom Bosley.
I say, Brian, look. 3 rows down.
What?
Is that Tom Bosley?
What would Tom Bosley be doing on a train in Switzerland?
I'm almost certain. Tom! Did he look?
I don't know.
Well, if I yell, you have to watch. Tom Bosley!
No, it's not him.
Oh, jeez.
Better luck next time, Stewie. Anyway, and also playing Dr. Beckwith, John Hoyt, a.k.a. Grandpa Kiniski from Gimme a Break.
Oh, give me a break.
And also several dim-witted Germans on Hogan's Heroes. I got one more name here. Margaret Avery, who is best known as Shug in Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple, and also Helen Patterson in Being Mary Jane.
Okay.
So yeah, known commodity.
All right. Well, so that was 20 episodes. There were actually 26 episodes commissioned, but actually the series was canceled because Darren McGavin actually asked to be released from his contract because he became disappointed with the series scripts and was exhausted from his uncredited producing duties. Now, 3 scripts were actually left unproduced from the 6 that weren't shot. Those 3 scripts were adapted into a series of Kolchak comic books back in 2003. They are Eve of Terror by Stephen Lord, The Get of Belai, written by Don Mullally, and The Executioners, written by Max Hodge. Now, even though Kolchak the Night Stalker was short-lived, it's become a very important show in television. It was actually the inspiration for The X-Files by series creator Chris Carter, who acknowledged that the show had influenced him greatly in his own work. In one interview, he mentioned that the majority of the viewing public considered the success of the X-Files series as being inspired by other shows such as The Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits. Carter mentions that while those shows were indeed an influence on the X-Files, it was only about 10%, with another 30% coming from Kolchak, and the rest devised from pure inspiration. Carter paid tribute to Kolchak in a number of ways on the show. A character named Richard Matheson was named for the screenwriter of the 2 pilot films, who appeared in several episodes, and Carter had also wanted McGavin to appear as Kolchak in 1 or more episodes of The X-Files, but McGavin was unwilling to reprise the character on the show, but he did appear in several episodes as Arthur Dailies, a retired FBI agent, described as the father of The X-Files. In the 3rd episode of the 2016 revival series, a character prominently featured in the episode Mulder and Scully Meet the Were-Monster is conspicuously altered in Kolchak's trademark seersucker jacket, black knit tie, and straw hat.
Gary Gygax, best known as the creator of Dungeons & Dragons, has cited the Horror in the Heights episode as part of his inspiration for creating the Rakshasa as it appears in the game.
Amazing.
Isn't it, though? This wouldn't be the end of the Night Stalker story, because in 2005, ABC commissioned Universal Studios to create a new version of Kolchak the Night Stalker called Night Stalker. It was canceled after 6 weeks.
I'm not surprised.
But hey, Frank Spotnitz, tried his best on that.
And actually, the series has been released on home video. 20th Century Fox released the first TV movie on VHS as part of its selection series. MGM Home Video released the 2 TV movies on DVD on August 24th, 2004. And Universal released Kolchak the Night Stalker, the complete series, on DVD a year later. Mad Men Entertainment released the complete series on DVD in Australia and New Zealand in July of 2009. The 2 films, The Night Stalker and The Knight Strangler, were released on Blu-ray on October 2nd, 2018 by Kino Lorber. And actually, guys, we're recording this on October 15th. This past Tuesday, Kino Lorber released Kolchak the Night Stalker, the complete series on Blu-ray.
Oh, and I just found out that if you want to watch the complete series, but don't want to buy the Kino Lorber DVD, NBC.com has all the episodes on its website.
You sure they're not on Peacock also?
I wish they were, but they might be. But I have it right now on NBC.com.
Well, I can sign in right now, and I can just do a quick search and check right now. Hold on a second. No, it is not on Peacock.
It is just on NBC.com proper.
Okay. Well, the Kino Lorber Blu-ray release actually uses new 2K scans of the interpositives, and the episodes feature commentary tracks by film, TV historians on every episode, as well as the original previews for each episode. So that's pretty good. So, there you go. That is Kolchak the Night Stalker, and for a show that's did not last that long, only 1 season. I mean, it was adapted from a highly rated series of TV movies. And let's be honest, for a show that was 1 season and done, it gave the start of the career of David Chase. It gave the start for Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale. And it had a good variety of guest stars.
And it also had 3 time slots, believe it or not.
I was about to ask. So it had everything going for it. So a question we like to ask on this show: what happened?
Well, it just couldn't find a time slot. I don't know if it aired too late, and maybe if it aired too early. I know that sounds weird, but I'm looking at the time slots. And it originally started on Friday nights at 10 p.m. And its competition was on NBC was Policewoman. And on CBS was just their movie of the week at that time. But not terribly long after, around the beginning of 75, it moved to 8 p.m. on Friday nights, where the competition was a little more stiff. We'll start with CBS because part of the competition there was a show that I just told Greg and Chico about for the first time before we started recording. It aired for 4 episodes, and it was called Con.
Con!
Not that con, but darn if it isn't funny just saying it. And taking a look at Con, again, 4 episodes. It looks like 7 actually were made, but 4 aired. The only name of consequence on Con was Vic Tayback. But NBC, they had a little bit stronger competition. They had a TV show at 8 o'clock called Sanford and Son.
Ooh.
And then at 8:30, they had Chico and the Man?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a 1-2 punch back in 74, 75. But then later on that season, it's moved to its 3rd time slot, which was 8 o'clock on Saturdays. And really the big competition there was you had reruns of All in the Family on CBS. I think that's all I needed to say there. But actually, NBC had some pretty good competition as well in Emergency. So you had emergency for the whole hour on NBC, and then you had All in the Family from 8 to 8:30 on Saturday nights, albeit reruns. This is all reruns at this point, but still third time slot, and it was gone. I wonder if 10 o'clock was too late and 8 p.m. was too early, maybe? I mean, definitely, this comes across as a little creepy, a little terrifying for something you want to show at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. But then I think about this show and a spiritual successor that would come some 20 years later in the X-Files on Fox. And I'm just thinking to myself, maybe Kolchak, the Night Stalker, was a little bit too ahead of its time.
Yeah, possible.
You have the X-Files, the Buffy the Vampire Slayers, Angel, Supernatural, Lucifer, which is on Netflix, just wrapping up its run. I guess we're too far removed from Dark Shadows to be of any relevancy, but way too ahead of its time. Because I watched the episode, and it is some really solid storytelling.
Oh, yeah. It definitely is. It intrigues you through the first 50 minutes, because it's always like Kolchak's trying to get to the bottom of this story, and everyone's like, oh, no, Kolchak, no, this is all, no. And then he gets to the bottom of the story, and then, like, some shenanigans happen, and he doesn't get, like, the entire, because it's like, obviously, it's not going to be like, oh, the UFO. It's like, oh, yeah, he finds the UFO. Holy effing S, it's a UFO.
It's oh my god, it's a UFO. Oh my god, it's a succubus. Oh my god, it's a zombie. Oh my god, it's an android. Oh my god, it's a chupacabra. No. And actually, this might figure into why this show was actually canceled after its first season. Because, and this is, again, citing Truth by Consensus Wikipedia, Darren McGavin found himself rewriting the scripts and doing much of the work as a producer, but he never got the full credit or the full compensation. And he wasn't really happy with the whole Monster of the Week thing, like what Doctor Who had since 2005. So he asked to be released from his contract with 2 episodes remaining, and in light of the show's dwindling ratings, the network thought, okay. Well, an interesting thing on the way to the television graveyard, speaking of graveyard, CBS decided to run reruns of Kolchak the Night Stalker and Late Night, and it did so well that it was brought back in 1979, 1981, and 1987. And truth be told, all 20 episodes were not fully seen in their entirety since 1975 until Sci-Fi Channel picked up the rights to broadcast them when it went on the air. I'm guessing they squeezed it in between Lost in Space and Space 1999. So
something like that. Well, that's all we got to say about Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Yep.
What do we have to say about this?
It had zombies, it had voodoo, it had vampires, it had succubi, it had androids, it had werewolves, it had every sort of mythical being that you could possibly imagine and possibly cram within 20 episodes of season. And it was incredibly brilliantly run, but alas, back in 1975, Kolchak the Night Stalker was a very brilliant thing on TV.
Yes.
Yeah, one thing is missing. There was no Robert Loggia.
Yeah, but you know what else you can get? Yeah.
You can get plenty of Robert Loggia, especially in one of the last week's episodes. And it was a thing on TV.com. We have over 250 episodes worth of content, from main episodes to mini episodes to live shows to remasters. We just uploaded the 20th final remaster. So if you want to relive the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire knockoffs of 2000, They're there for you. And also, you can follow us on all the social media at It Was a Thing on TV. Except for Facebook, you have to follow us. Listen very carefully now. It Was a Thing on TV podcast.
I'm ready to get down. It was a thing on TV. Okay, I'll remember it. Podcast.
You'll remember it? Okay, good.
Okay.
And also, we are on the YouTube, and if you want to follow up on the adventure, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date on future entries. And also, don't forget to check us out on PlaceToBeNation.com, where we have the weekly drops and...
Okay. All right. Last week I said I was going to put in American Gladiators ripoffs. I lied. I didn't include it. But this week it'll be on American Gladiators ripoffs. It will be included on this week's drop. And the MLB's versus Celebrity Softball game. And you know who else is on that episode?
Robert Loggia.
Whoa, Robert Loggia!
Drink your orange juice, kid.
And of course we got the mini-sode with Turn On, so
that's all coming this coming week. Also coming up this coming week, Halloween continues with a couple of really good stories. First of all,
yeah, we got an anthology TV movie coming up. Oh yeah, from the 1970s. And guys, I put this on the schedule because there is a reason why this TV movie is on the schedule. Well, I'm not going to tell you guys. You're going to have to wait till next week to find that out.
Okay, fine. And also, next week, we round out Halloween with everybody's favorite Halloween master. No, not that guy. No, not that one either. Any questions?
Gee, I wonder what that could be a reference to.
Go-to classic? I wouldn't even consider it a classic, but, well, it did produce a Halloween special a number of years ago after one appearance on a late-night show.
But a memorable appearance on a late-night show.
Yeah,
memorable in some ways, but yeah, I've got questions.
Let me put it to you this way. What Paul Lynde was in the 1970s, and you can go back to last Halloween for our coverage on that, this is in 2017.
Yeah.
The only thing we're missing is Witchy Poo and a Star-Spangled cowboy suit.
Oh, great! Now I've got questions, but I'm guessing they're guessing they're not going to get answered until next week.
Correct. And that is all coming up next week on It Was a Thing on TV. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Wow!